Thank you. Mayor Ford?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Bullock?
Here.
Your button, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Councilman Amador?
Present.
Councilman Teeter?
Here.
Councilwoman Carson? Councilman Benson? Councilman McEldowney? Councilwoman Elliott?
Present.
And Councilman Douglas.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Great, thank you very much. I do want to point out that we're planning, we have an executive session planned this evening. However, for two purposes, we are going to postpone the first topic listed, which is the follow-up to evaluations for the municipal judge and city attorney. So I'm open for a motion to take us into an executive session for the second piece. Mr. Bullock?
Move to go into executive session pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024E for the purpose of developing strategies for negotiation and instructing negotiators concerning the DIA issues.
Thank you. Mr. Teeter? I have a motion and a second to go into executive session. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. We will be going into executive session. However, for the record, I would like to point out that Councilman Benson, Councilman McEldowney are both with us now, and we are expecting, is that it?
That's it.
We can do the excuse for Councilwoman Carson now?
If you'd like.
Yeah, is there a motion to excuse Councilwoman Carson from the meetings this evening? Mr. McEldowney is a motion. Is there a second? Mr. Teeter?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to allow the excused absence for Councilwoman Carson. She's on vacation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Yes, ma'am.
Just for the record, I'd also like to indicate that Mr. Benson and Mr. McEldowney entered the room while we were in, right after roll call, so we're going to count them in the votes for the executive session.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for the record, I'd like to welcome back our city clerk
Yes.
back to being here with us tonight.
Thank you. It's
For a
good to be
while.
back. And if I could just take just a quick minute before you go in, I really would like to thank Mayor Ford, City Council, City Manager Brian McBroom, and the whole Commerce City staff for your thoughts, your prayers, your food. All of that was really very much appreciated by my family and myself. So thank you very much.
Well, we're really glad to see that you're doing well. So welcome back, and you're welcome. Okay, we'll adjourn to executive session and try to be back out here promptly at 6:30. Jim, did you watch that Auburn game? What a game. Alabama, Auburn? Huh? I bet that didn't hurt your feelings at all. Have Auburn be the one going to championship.
Okay.
How'd you guys do against Missouri?
Thank you.
You lost? I know, I thought for sure.
Well, I'll be in my office. Yeah, whenever they need me. Okay. Now I can look at this one. So I thought I had to be here. For the session. Yeah, here's the thing that's going to be interesting. I don't know how it's going to be resolved, because this is the others in our charter. They swear affirm to support the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of the state of Colorado. The whole marijuana thing, you can't do both. Westminster's vote only says that I support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Colorado. It doesn't include the laws. Yeah, except that it's in our charter. Yeah, it is. Hey, kid, how
Actually, the red light means go.
Okay, and you'll turn it on?
Yeah. Or we have a traveling mic.
cool idea. That was a really cool idea.
We have to, that's part of the high school. You know, which one? This? Oh. This thing so.
Good evening. Welcome, everybody, to the City Council meeting of December 2nd, 2013. Is the city clerk ready for the meeting to resume?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Everybody will stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, if the staff will please pass the microphone around and allow the audience to introduce themselves.
Pastor Cliff Burnell from Servant's Heart Church here in Commerce City on 64th and Monaco. Honored to be here, and thank you for the invitation.
Esther Hall, Commerce City Historical Society.
Deborah Bullock, Commerce City Historical Society.
June Younger, Commerce City Historical Society.
Danny Thomas.
Betty Thomas.
Pam Spratler.
Dolores Amador.
Alejandro Martinez.
Dolores Avila Martinez.
Debbie Avila.
Gilbert Avila.
Guillermo Sarna. Larry Quintana, Board Representative to the Council.
Joy Bishop. Brianna Cisneros. Rebecca Cisneros. Maria Gonzalez.
David Juarez, Municipal Judge.
Julie McEldowney.
James Amador.
Jason Amador.
Elaine Amador.
Albert Amador.
Bryant Amador, body double to Andrew Amador.
Tanya Amador. Pam Amador.
It is fun.
Mary Arguello.
John Howard, Information Technology.
Laura Richardson, Police Department.
Kathy Blakeman, HR.
Again, thank you all for being here this evening. First item on the agenda is going to be the citizen communication. I will call your name, invite you up to the podium. Need you to state your name and address for the record, and you'll be given 3 minutes to talk to the council. Start with Maria Gonzalez. Good evening.
Good evening. Maria Gonzalez with Community Enterprise, 7290 Magnolia Street and 7296 Magnolia Street, Gonzalez Insurance. I would like to take this opportunity to, number one, invite every one of you to our annual Derby Winter Festival. I put in an invitation and information about our event. Community Enterprise for the past 14 years has celebrated the holidays with the community, and we are asking for you to be our individual sponsors to support. We're hoping to give 200 Christmas trees to families in need, working together with the school district and other organizations, and also hoping to provide a food basket for every one of these families that come forward that are in need. And so I'm giving an application to each one of you, and I'm hoping that you attend the event, celebrate, bring your families, and you'll see a lot of the businesses coming together for the community, as well as helping us with the sponsorship. There's a lot of need in our community. You know better than us that everybody could really use some assistance this time of the year, so I really look forward to see you there and get your support. Thank you very much. If you have some questions, I put my phone number in there, and if you need additional information or assistance, please let me know. Thank you very much, and it's very good to see you, everybody. Any
Great.
questions?
Let me check with the council. Does anybody on council have any questions for Maria on the Derby Winter Festival? I don't see any, Maria. I do know that normally we all do a tree for the city council, and I would ask Mr. McBroom where that's at, if we have to take a vote to approve funds to do a tree for the Derby Winter Festival, if that's in our executive budget.
If you intend to use city funds, it would be appropriate for you to do that by taking an official action. Of course, if you're going to do that out of your personal funds, there's no need to take an action. There is money available in the legislative budget should City Council want to use it for that purpose.
I don't think you heard what I said. I didn't say legislative budget. I said executive budget. That would be yours. I'm just giving you a hard time, Brian.
We have two budgets we can look at?
No, I think that we've always taken it out of the legislative budget.
You might want to do that during administrative council business then.
I agree. So we'll bring it up during administrative council business, and I'll take a vote on it. I just wanted to check before I made appropriate time for that to happen during administrative council business. But we'll take that up later this evening. If you want to stick around, you can see how that shakes out, okay?
Very good. For everybody in the audience as well, it's Friday, December 13th, and it all starts at 4 p.m., and it's all in the square in Derby Square. So there's going to be a lot of activities the businesses are putting together, as well as community enterprise. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you. Next, I'll call Deborah Bullock.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Deborah Bullock, 6130 Ivanhoe Street.
Good evening.
We're here from Commerce City Historical Society tonight just to report on our year. 2013 has been a good and productive year for us. You can see the list of accomplishments that I laid up on your desks. We continue to raise money, create new programs, apply for grant money, preserve history in writing and collecting memorabilia. We continue with having our events throughout the year. I would like to just point out a couple things on your accomplishments list that you have in front of you. In July, we started our first annual work party at Dottie Baki's house, which all of you know is a historic house in Commerce City. And this year, we are giving back to the community. So that's one of our events that we did. And we also are giving back. In December, we are doing a tree at the Derby Winter Festival, and we donate that tree with hats and gloves to the Commerce City Battered Women's Shelter. And for our Christmas Lights bus tour, we take up a collection as an offering, and we donate that to a needy family that we select. So those are three of the things that we do to give back to the community. In August, we started the Derby Survey with Hone Architects, and they have been doing the survey to establish if Derby can be nominated for a historical district, and they have been moving along quite well. They actually found out some information from the Nebraska State Historical Society, because they have an extensive collection related to the Lincoln Land Company, which is the company that founded or platted the original town of Derby. So we're excited to see what kind of information we get from that. They've also spent time at Paul Workman's office with the city planners, and they've taken water and sewer tap information, warranty deeds, Adams County Clerk and Recorder's Office information. So we're going to have a complete historic survey from Derby, so we're looking forward to that. And that's due to be done next year, probably April or May. And I just wanted to point that out. And the other thing I want to point out is we started a high school history club at Adams City High School, and June Younger and Esther Hall have been consistently going to meetings twice a week with the children, and they are very interested in learning about history, and so we're going to do some field trips with them and get them involved with some of our events. So those are a couple things I just wanted to bring to your attention. You can read about the other ones. I would also like to tell you that we're really looking forward to 2014, and working with you and creating some new projects to work on. And we just want to thank you for your continued support. And we are having our bus tour on December 14th, if you'd like to join us. And I'm going to give this paper to Bob because I don't have copies, and he can get it to you. And I also have our mission and visions for 2014 with our programs. So, Bob, can I get that to you? And one of the latest things that we also did as a fundraiser was selling bricks from the old high school. So in front of you, you have some old bricks from the high school. We also have large bricks. Crystal came and bought some bricks with Donovan, and it was a fun day. And so we actually made about $500 doing that, so that was a lot of fun. And we're selling these bottles for $5, and we're selling a lot of them. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you, and thank you for your support, and we'll see you in 2014.
Great, thank you very much. Is there anybody that wants to respond to the Historical Society while I have them out in front of us?
Thank you.
Seeing no one, thank you very much for coming in.
Mr.
Oh,
Mayor.
Mr. Amador?
Yes, thank you to the Historical Society. Thank you, Deborah, for the update. It's always nice to see someone and an organization that comes out and lets us know what's going on. So thank you. I will say that I do follow the Historical Society on social media, mainly Facebook. It's really neat to see the progress that you're making, and your organization definitely is an asset to our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you very much. Next, I'll call Albert Amador Jr. Is that right? I'm reading that correct? Oh, I gotcha. Young Mr. Amador up here said it's okay for his grandfather. You don't have to sign in just because you're here, but if you'd like to come up and talk, you're more than welcome to. All right. If you want to pass on that, we're going to continue into our agenda. And we'll start with the meeting minutes of October 21st, 2013. I need a motion to allow Councilwoman Elliott to abstain. Mr. Bullock?
Move to allow Councilwoman Elliott to abstain from the minutes meeting October 21st, 2013.
Thank you. Mr. McEldowney? Second. I have a motion and a second to allow the abstention of Councilwoman Elliott on the October 21st minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Now I'm open for a motion concerning the minutes of October 21st, 2013. Mr. Amador?
So move.
Mr. Bullock?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of October 21st, 2013. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The minutes are approved for October 21st. Next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. There are 4 items on the consent agenda this evening. Any council member may ask to have an item removed for a separate discussion and vote. This request does not require a motion and/or vote. Does any member of council wish to remove an item? Mr. McEldowney?
Prepared to make a motion.
Mr. Bullock?
Prepared to make a motion.
Okay. Since there's nobody requesting one to be removed, I'll go back to Mr. McEldowney and allow a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Bullock.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Will the city attorney please read the title of the consent agenda?
Title of Ordinance 1985 reads as follows: An ordinance amending Section 2-3005 of the Commerce City Revised Municipal Code regarding the Youth Commission. Title of Ordinance 1986 reads: An ordinance consolidating the Golf Course Enterprise Fund into the General Fund and transferring all remaining balances from the Golf Course Enterprise Fund to the General Fund and thereby eliminating the Golf Course Enterprise Fund. Title of Ordinance 1987 reads: An ordinance amending the 2013 budget of the City of Commerce City, Colorado by appropriating a portion of the unencumbered fund balance of the Information Technology Fund and transferring to the CIPP Fund in the amount of $159,860 and authorizing the expenditure thereof. Title of Ordinance 1988 reads: An ordinance approving the grant of a cable franchise to Comcast Colorado 9 LLC, approving a cable franchise agreement between Comcast Colorado 9 LLC and the City of Commerce City, Colorado, and approving and adopting customer service standards for cable operators. And that concludes the consent agenda, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. I have a motion and a second. The titles have all been read. I'll ask for a roll call vote at this time. Let the record show that the consent agenda is approved, 8 in favor, 1 excused. Now we'll move on to administrative council business. Is there any administrative council business for the council this evening outside of the Christmas tree thing, which I'll bring up here in a moment? Mr. Benson?
Yes, and this is something that came out of NLC a couple of weeks ago. In talking with some people from Longmont, they're about to launch a 1 gigabit internet service that's provided by the city. And Mr. McEldowney, it's going to be 1 gigabit, not 1 gigabyte, right? 125 megabytes a second, right?
1 gig, yep.
Right. I mean, I've never heard of a gigabyte a second speed.
It's called gig.
I just thought it would be something for us to look into and see if we could offer that to our citizens. Just like to have the council direct the staff to look into that, maybe check with Longmont, find out how they did it, what they're planning to charge for it, what the real speed's going to be. It would be a good service for us to provide to all of our citizens.
Yeah.
So I would move to that effect.
Is there a second to that effect? Raise your hand because I've got everything lit up. So if you want a second, Mr. Amador or Mr. McEldowney.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. I've got you down here, Mr. Douglas.
Okay.
Mr. Bullock, you're next.
Yes, I just want to, Commerce City was presented with the Hill City, Live Well Hill City campaign plaque, and at the meeting we had for Live Well, and I just wanted to make sure that I got it to the proper person in the city, so I'm presenting that to the mayor from Hill of Live Well, and it can go in our display case in the back that we are a Live Well city, and we did vote on that, and we're one of, I think, 22 now in the state of Colorado.
Great. Thank you. Anything further?
Not until we get to the tree.
Okay. I go to Mr. Douglas.
Thank you. Brian or Jim, just
There's quite a few people throughout Commerce City who have open pits, as far as if it's gas pits. Some folks are burning wood. And what's the allowables? Because looking at the Land Development Code, it says borrowing pits, more like bonfire type thing, clearing up certain vegetation around in a certain area. But when it comes to residential, I just need a clarity on that. What is used and what can't be used.
We can certainly research that and include it in an upcoming city manager update. So your question is about fire pits, both gas and wood or burning other
dual
stuff
flame logs,
in their yards.
because I know wood is not permitted because of the ashes and everything, but there are neighbors that are burning wood, and with that smoke goes into someone's home and everything, and a lot of people don't want to put up a stink, but they need to know that that's not allowable because it's causing harm to other folks within the community.
We can certainly research and provide the city council what the city's regulations are, and I believe the fire district has some regulations as well.
All right, thank you.
On that one, Mr. City Manager, I would recommend that you have the code enforcement or the department that's oversees those kind of potential violations to work directly with Mr. Douglas for the needs that he has. And I think it would be appropriate for an email to go out to the rest of council to let everybody know exactly what rules we have governing fire pits. But as to utilize the council meeting any further for that, I think we need to work through staff on that one for now. Is that acceptable? Okay. We'll move on to the tree.
I got one more thing.
Now, Mr. Bullock, you've already had your turn. We're going to the tree. Every year we use some money out of the executive account, right? The legislative budget to purchase a tree to go to a family that otherwise wouldn't have a tree as part of the Derby Winterfest. And I need to ask the council through means of a motion if they'd like to do that again this year. So I'm open for a motion. Mr. Amador?
Make a motion to use the legislative funds to donate a tree to a Commerce City family in need.
Thank you. Mr. Teeter?
I'd like to second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the budget to allow for a tree to go to be donated through the Derby Winter Festival by the council.
We do a basket also, sir.
Mr. Bullock, would you like to amend the motion?
Yes, I would.
The floor is yours.
Okay. We also do a basket with our tree to go to that needy family, so I would like to amend that motion to also add a basket to that. The basket is 35 and the tree is 100.
Okay. Is there a second to that? Mr. Benson?
Yes, I will. I will second that. I just wanted to, maybe my recollection is, but in the past it seems like that individual council members have donated like 10 or 12 bucks a piece for this tree. It hasn't been an expense of the city.
Okay.
And
it was a council.
You ready? Would you like to make an alternate motion that we utilize our own money to do this? It's fine with me.
Maybe we have two trees, one paid for by the city and the other paid for by the individual donations of council members.
I'm okay with that, too. Would you like to make...
I will move to amend the motion to that effect.
Okay. Now, just trying to keep this all straight for you folks out in the audience. We have a motion, a secondary motion. Now we have an additional motion for there to be one tree and one gift basket provided by the legislative budget of Commerce City to go towards the Derby Winterfest. And then included in that motion is an additional tree that would be a cost of the 10 or 12 bucks a piece individually for the council to add a secondary tree. Do I have a second to that motion? Mr. Amador?
I will second that. Thank you.
I have a motion and a second for two trees in a basket. One tree is on us. Any discussion? Mr. Bullock?
This is funny because in years past, and I am clearly a keeper of this history, that second tree was a Mr. Benson tree that he used to do himself and decorate. But if we want to do this as a council, but I remember for 2 years straight that it was a Benson tree that he was doing on his own, not a council tree. And as I remember, did that tree ever get decorated?
I don't know, but I need to get back to the motion and the second that I have on the floor. 2 trees in a basket, 1 tree is the responsibility of the council's personal funds.
Can I add something?
As long as it's discussion that's pertinent to the motion and the second that I have on the floor. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until after the vote.
Yes, just to clarify, I'm also going to have my own tree. So, and I would suggest that every other council member have their own tree, too.
Great.
That's going to be 3 trees.
Mr. Mayor, I suggest we get to the
I'm
point
with
of
you, Bob.
business.
That's what I've been trying to do the whole time up here. 2 trees in a basket. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion's carried. I'll give you my $12. Who are we giving it to, Jim? Going to give it to Bob?
Who wants it? We'll give it to Maria.
If the intent is to do it,
We'll give it to
if the
Maria.
intent is to do a tree and a basket, that would be $15 for each of you.
It was 2
135
trees in a
divided by-
basket. Now we're adding another basket. I'll give you my $15. Everybody just give it to Brian. Let him keep track of it, and we'll do the 2 trees. All right?
And do they
Now.
take credit cards?
No. Cash only.
Yeah, no, they do.
We have one more item on administrative council business, Mr. Bullock.
Yes. I ask all the council to please turn in your emergency preparedness and planning workshop booklet. If you remember, or I can email you all or text you to bring it next Monday and fill it in, please fill this in and get it back to me. Mr. Teeter's the only one that was timely. Okay, thank you.
He gets the prize.
Now, if there is no more business to come before this council at this time, we're going to adjourn into the organizational meeting. And I know everybody's wondering how come I'm not going over reports, saving that for the end of the next meeting. So we will have reports. I don't want anybody to think I'm skipping anything. So at this time, I would ask that Mr. Amador, Mr. McEldowney, and Mr. Bullock all go down and take their seats in the audience.
Sean, you might tell them about JD's already. JD already got sworn.
Right. And before I bring up the judge, I'm going to, I want to make sure that everybody that's watching at home or in the audience knows that Councilwoman Carson was also just reelected, and she did her swearing in with the judge prior to going on her vacation, so that her and her husband wouldn't have to postpone their vacation again. So she has already been sworn in. And the city attorney was there to witness that, so that's taken care of. So we have the 3 individuals that I just sent back into the audience to take care of this evening. And with that, I would invite Judge Juarez to come up to the dais, to the podium, or up here. Judge, you want to do it right up here?
Right here.
Right up here.
Also, Mr. Mayor, just as a point of clarification, actually, Councilwoman Carson was sworn in by a notary public, or by the city clerk, who can administer oaths, and I witnessed that swearing in.
Perfect. Thank you.
I don't remember swearing her in.
That's all right. See, Judge, I'd hate to say something that a judge actually didn't do that I thought he did. And then at this point, Judge Juarez, I think I will just let you run with it. You can call them up individually, all together, however you're going to do it, and I'll just sit here and watch.
It should be on. It is. I'm going to do them individually. Let's start with Jason McEldowney. Do you want to go up? Do you want us up on top or right here? Okay. This okay? Okay. Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Jason McEldowney,
I, Jason McEldowney,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and of the State of Colorado,
and of the State of Colorado,
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Commerce City,
and the Charter and the ordinances of the City of Commerce City,
and that I will faithfully perform all of the duties
that I will faithfully perform all of the duties
pertaining to the office of council member
pertaining to the office of council member
of the City of Commerce City
of the City of Commerce City
of the State of Colorado
of the State of Colorado
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Council.
Thank you.
Mr. McEldowney?
Sure. The family want to come up and take a photograph? And then I'll have you sign it. Go ahead. You want me in there too? All right.
Mr. McEldowney, you can take your seat up here. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, there you go. Of course, now I can't see anything. Sorry. There you go. Thank you. Congratulations. Andrew Amador. They told me just read the whole thing all at once and that you'd be able to recite it. That's your family though, right?
Yes.
All right, so I will do that too. I, Andrew Amador,
I, Andrew Amador,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and of the State of Colorado
and of the State of Colorado
and the Charter and ordinances of the City of Commerce City
and the Charter
and
ordinances of the City of Commerce City,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
all of the duties pertaining to office of Ward 1 Council Member
all of the duties pertaining to Ward 1 of Council
member.
Member
of the City of Commerce City
of the City of Commerce City
of the State of Colorado
of the State of Colorado
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You want the whole family up here? Todos. Come on up.
This is a special moment for me, family, so please come on up. Everyone.
Get them all up here.
Everybody. No, I think that would be cool. Just stand right next to each other. You got the body double, whatever you need.
No,
I think you're going to have to go get him. This was court session, I could order it, but I can't order it.
Shake faces. Okay. Ready? Oh, that's beautiful.
I need you to go to the podium. Here. There you go. Just sign right there. I'm in the picture. Does that make me part of the family? Well said. If you resume your seat. Here's this one. And William Renee Bullock. She got all dressed up to present, and she gets to be in the pictures, too. That's great. Okay. If you'd raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, William Renee Bullock,
I, William Renee Bullock,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and of the state of Colorado,
and of the state of Colorado,
and the charter and ordinances of the city of Commerce City,
and the charter and the ordinance of the city of Commerce City,
and that I will faithfully perform
and I will faithfully perform
all of the duties
pertaining
to the office of council member of the city of Commerce City
pertaining to the duties of council member of the city of Commerce City
of the state of Colorado
to
the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Come on. Don't be sitting out there.
I was saying it worked out that you got all dressed up to present and to be in the pictures.
Taylor. Right here. Stand right
You got to be careful.
Big smiles, kids. One more. Those are some good-looking smiles. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, and if you'll sign right there. See, I knew he was a lefty. That's why I switched. Thank you.
Now that everybody's sworn in, I think it's important that I say just a few things. It's been a pleasure working with these folks for the last couple of years. And I don't mean just the new ones that just were reappointed or re-elected, to be more specific. This council, I think, is moving the city in the right direction. Based on the election with the ballot issue and the passing of all four of these members that were reelected. I think our residents see that as well. And after all the years that I've been with the city, to see the opportunities that are before the city right now are unbelievable. When I was the mayor before and we were able to do the stadium and build Quebec and Pioneer Park and some of those projects, I thought that we're doing some really great things. With what we have in front of us now, I think we're going to do a lot more than really great things. We have the ramp funding now to build Highway 2, 4 lanes, all the way from 72nd Avenue to 120th Avenue, which will really help traffic issues along that northwestern end where we need the connectivity. With the ballot issue, having the Tower Road go 4-lane divided, with the new rec center up north, with the rehabilitation of the existing rec center, with the 3 new neighborhood parks up north, and with the water park that'll go somewhere down here in the southern portion of the city. I think it really adds to the services we're able to offer our residents and helps us to attract commercial opportunities, those sit-down restaurants, both in the north and the south, that we've always needed the whole time I've lived my entire life in this community. So I think that the residents are ready to take that step forward based on the way they voted in this last election. And I know, no doubt in my mind, and this is one of the only times I've ever been able to say this, that everybody on this council that I've had the chance to work with for the last 2 years, I feel they are on here to make their community better, and not just because they want to have or hold a position. And so I have to thank all of my council members that are sitting up here with me today for moving the community forward in the proper manner. So congratulations on your re-elections.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the 2K initiative, and congratulations to the residents of this community. And we will follow through with what you have voted for. So we appreciate that, and thank you for keeping this team together to continue moving the city forward in the proper direction. Now, with that said, if everybody will please stand, and I'll ask Pastor Burnell to come up for an invocation.
Thank you, Mayor Ford. Please bow your heads. Father, we come before you on this momentous occasion, Lord, a night that these council men and women, their family and friends, have worked so hard to achieve. And achieve they have, for they have been duly elected by the citizens of our great city to represent them in their districts. This great trust has been granted to them to lead and guide this community into its future. And we thank you, O God, for all you have given those who have served in the past to help make this city a wonderful community that it is. We thank you for everyone who has given and sacrificed, for all those families, Lord, that are here today to join in this special time, Lord. We thank you for those who have been sworn in today, Lord. Some rejoining the council for another term. May you grant them the wisdom, insight, and patience to continue leading our citizens, and continued blessing to their families for their sacrifices and their every need. May you bless our newest members in council to go forth in wisdom and strength and leave behind a wonderful legacy of service to their council brethren of past. Bless them and their families as they set out on this newest endeavor. And may you remind us as citizens of our call in Scripture not to be so callous and critical toward those in authority, but to pray for all people and to ask God to help them. To pray this way for kings and leaders and all those who are in authority, as Paul has written in verse, so that we can live a peaceful and quiet life marked by godliness and dignity. For this is good and pleases God our Savior. And now, O God, we come before you asking you to guide our council and mayor and all those who are in authority. For it is you who sets one up and takes down another. And as Scripture declares, we are all born into this world for such a time as this. May they use the trust of the citizens given to them through this election to serve in such a way to bring glory and honor to God and blessing to this great city. And now may the Lord's grace be upon this council and chamber. May he cause his face to shine down on us, and may he grant you wisdom and peace. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. The second meeting to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yes, and council, I have it set up so you do not need to reactivate your buttons if you will just speak into the microphones. Mayor Ford.
Here.
Councilman Amador. Councilman Teeter.
Here.
Councilwoman Carson. Councilman Benson.
Here.
Councilman Bullock.
Here.
Councilman McEldowney.
Here.
Councilwoman Elliott.
Present.
And Councilman Douglas.
Present.
Mr. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. First item on the agenda this evening is for me to appoint Mayor Pro Tem. And as any of these members of this council would be capable of doing the job, I've never tried to pick and choose based on who I like more or anything like that. I've always tried to utilize the council member that has the most tenure, and I'm going to go and do so again this time, and that would be Councilman Bullock, who will remain my Mayor Pro Tem. I feel comfortable that he has the background and the time served that he can handle about any situation that he would have to in my absence. So, Mr. Bullock, you are the council Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much.
First item on the agenda, we have resolutions. Resolution 2013-75. Any council member have a question concerning this resolution? And I know Mr. McElhenney, Mr. Bullock, it's to make a motion, correct? Yes. Just want to take the time and make sure. I want to ask, is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the council on this resolution? Seeing no one, Mr. McElhenney, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would move to approve Resolution 2013-75, adopting the city's 2014 state legislative agenda.
Thank you. Mr. Bullock.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Will the city attorney read the title of the resolution?
Title of Resolution 2013-75 reads, a resolution adopting the city's 2014 state legislative agenda.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All have, title has been read. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Then we'll move on to ordinances on first reading. We have ordinance 1991. Is there a council member with any questions regarding this ordinance? Seeing none, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the city council on this ordinance? Seeing no one, I'm open for a motion. Mr. Bullock.
Move to introduce ordinance 1991. Council is seated.
Mr. McElhenney.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Will the city attorney please read the title of the ordinance?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I might make a statement at the outset. I've had a couple of questions as to why this ordinance is even necessary, because the citizens of Commerce City have spoken regarding this particular item, and the election provides that this 1% tax increase be adopted. Well, the answer to that is the election was really a mandate to the City Council to put this ordinance in effect, because without the ordinance, you don't have any enforcement authority, and this ordinance then implements that enforcement authority. So having said that, I'll proceed to read the title. An ordinance amending Chapter 20 of the Commerce City Revised Municipal Code by substituting a sales and use tax rate of 4.5% in lieu of 3.5% on all sales and use tax transactions taxable under the Commerce City Sales and Use Tax Code and regulations, with the proceeds from such sales and use tax increase to be used for restricted purposes as authorized by the electors of the City of Commerce City in the Commerce City election held on November 5, 2013, and providing for the collection of said tax and related provisions.
Thank you. Have a motion and a second, and the title has been read. I'll ask for a roll call vote at this time. Let the record show the introduction of the ordinance 1991 is 8 in favor, 1 excused. Moving on, next item of the agenda is Administrative Council business, and I think we went through all of that in the past meeting, so I'm going to move right into reports. We'll go with City Manager. I'm going to do that after we do reports. Okay. Mr. McBroom, report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just prior to this evening's meeting, we did distribute this week's version of the city manager's report. Just one update, really, and it's our now monthly update of key developments in the world of economic development. So what you'll see listed in that report are new businesses that are open, permits that are issued for new construction. There's also a key attached to help you understand what each of the different permits and approvals are that we've listed in the report. But please reach out if you have any questions about the report. We've also included a look ahead of the next several city council meetings. So that's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Mr. Gaylor?
I have nothing further, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. I do have some. I'm going to go through them as quickly as I can. Airport Coordinating Committee meetings, we've been having quite a few of those. Me and Councilman Teeter are the members of the Airport Coordinating Committee, as well as mediation with DIA. There was the Commerce City Business Appreciation Reception in 2014 World Lacrosse Championship preview last week. We were in DIA mediation, as I mentioned. More DIA mediation, another Airport Coordinating Committee meeting. And then last week, there was the Adams County Board of Education Community Reception, a couple of lunches that I had, and then I was at Rotary on Wednesday. And then, of course, Thursday and Friday, everybody was hopefully enjoying the Thanksgiving holiday, and I will allow anybody to add on to that report on this council that may have an addition. Is there any additions to the report? Seeing none, we'll move on into committee appointments. Is everybody ready for the appointments? Do we have a list? I'm looking at my computer.
But
I don't know. Where's that at? Here we go. That's what I was looking for.
Some of them that aren't on here.
There's some of them not on there?
Right, the youth commission, the state.
All right, I'm going to just go down through the list,
Okay.
and you guys can stop me and we'll discuss. First, we have Board of Adjustments. The Board of Adjustment is responsible for reviewing appeals from decisions of the zoning administration and appeals to zoning code, and can grant zoning variances and exceptions. There's one member of this city council that serves on the Board of Adjustment. It's the second Tuesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. here at the council chambers. And the current member is Mr. Bullock. It doesn't look like we have a second member or an alternative, or an alternate. Mr. Bullock, you're the member. Where do you stand on this particular board and desire to serve?
I'm happy to serve on that board. I've been doing that for about 12 years now, so it's off and on. If it meets once a month, second Tuesday of the month, unless somebody would rather be on that board, I will continue to serve on it.
Well, let me ask, is there any member of this council that has the desire to serve on the Board of Adjustment at this time?
I do. I am definitely interested in that position. Currently, I was an alternate, but knowing that when I was appointed, we cannot have two council members on that position, so I would believe I would still be an alternate, but I would be interested in becoming full-time.
Okay. Is there anyone else that would have a desire on this council to serve on the Board of Adjustment? All right, I have Mr. Amador has a desire. Mr. Bullock, would you like to stay on that, or would you rather step back and let Mr. Amador serve?
I will step back and let Mr. Amador serve as on the Board of Adjustment, because there's some other boards that I would like to spend more time with.
Okay. With that said, there's no other interests, Mr. Amador. Staff, do you need a vote by the council to make that appointment at this time?
I don't believe action's required. We'll keep track.
Okay.
You're certainly reaching consensus, and then we'll publish the list to make sure, or Correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Bauer.
What we've done in the past is we've taken one motion at the very end to
Appoint all of them at one
To
time?
appoint all of them at one time.
That'll be fine.
If that would be acceptable to the city
Yeah,
manager.
that makes good sense. We'll keep
Perfect.
track as we're going.
Okay, so that takes care of the Board of Adjustment. Now we move on to Derby Review Board. The purpose of the Derby Review Board is to interpret and apply the Derby design guidelines and standards and to grant or deny development applications based on these standards. As well, the Derby Resource or Review Board may approve variances to the standards contained in the guidelines. Appeals to the Derby Review Board decisions are heard by the City Council. There is one member. They meet the third Tuesday of the month at the Derby Resource Center, and it's currently Mr. Teeter is the a board member that is on the City Council. Mr. Teeter, is that a board that you desire to continue to serve on?
Yes, I would like to continue serving this board. It used to belong to Dominic Marino. After his election, I was appointed to it, and I would love to continue serving on it.
Perfect. Is there any other council members that have an interest in this board, the Derby Review Board, before I move on? Seeing no one, then we'll leave Mr. Teeter on there and let him continue with that board duty. You keeping track of this, Mr. Manager? Keeping track? All right. Next, we'll move on to the Liquor Licensing Authority. The Liquor Licensing Authority review, grant, approve, and renew liquor licenses and special event permits, authorized to conduct investigations and suspend and revoke licenses for unlawful operations in the sale of alcohol in Commerce City. On this board, we have one member, two alternates, and they meet the first Thursday of the month at 1:30 in the council chambers.
That should be the first Tuesday. Rick, isn't that the first Tuesday?
Yes, first Tuesday.
All right, well, then this is wrong. First Tuesday, okay.
First Tuesday, 1 o'clock.
And they meet here in the council chambers. Mr. Teeter is the member, and Mr. Bullock is an alternate. Mr. Teeter, is that a board that you would prefer, the authority that you would prefer to continue to participate in?
Yes, I would like to stay with this committee, please.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bullock, is that a committee that you would prefer, or a board that you would prefer to stay an alternate on?
I'm happy to be the alternate.
Okay, is there anyone else on the council that has a desire to serve on the Liquor Authority, Liquor Licensing Authority at this time? Okay, then that makes it easy. We'll allow Mr. Teeter and Mr. Bullock to be the member and the alternate, and that does meet at a middle of the day where many of the members of the council have regular jobs. That's hard for them to get to that one. Next, we have the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. The committee shall serve as a voice of the public and shall have the obligation and function to advise the city staff on issues related to city-owned and controlled parks, trails, open space, recreation areas, and facilities, recreation programs and services, both within and without the boundaries of the city. We have two members. They meet the third Tuesday of the month at the Recreation Center, and that's Councilwoman Carson and Mr. Douglas. Mr. Douglas, is that a committee you would prefer to continue to serve on?
Yes, I would.
Okay, and Councilwoman Carson said that she would like to stay, she let this council know that she would like to stay on the ones that she's currently on. So is there anyone on this city council, any member of the city council that would like to serve on that board? Then that makes that one fairly easy. We'll keep Carson and Douglas on the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee. Next, we have the Police Pension Board, which provides guidance and oversight for the management of the police pension fund for the police department. There's one member of the city council serves on that board. They meet as needed at the Civic Center, and currently it's Councilwoman Elliott. Councilwoman Elliott, do you wish and desire to continue to serve on the Police Pension Board?
I do wish to continue. However, recently with work conflicts, I almost wonder if it would be at the best interest of council that we would have an alternate in the event that I can't make a meeting. Tuesdays, once a month, I do have to stay for a late-night meeting. It's been conflictive of this particular meeting, so I don't want to not represent
Okay, so you have a
council.
desire to continue to serve on the Police Pension Board. They only meet as needed. Is there anyone on the council that also has a desire to serve on the Police Pension Board in the means of member or as an alternate?
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I
Yes,
might
sir.
mention, just for the information of council, it does say as needed. However, in actuality, that Police Pension Board has been meeting at 3 o'clock during the day, 3 o'clock on Wednesday, every third month, every quarter.
Every quarter.
So it is a problem for someone that is employed to be there at 3 o'clock. And we have had some difficulty in getting quorums on occasion.
Would you like me to change the time of the meeting?
Well, I think the Police Pension Board would need to do that if we're going to change the time, but that's the time they've been
I understand that,
been
Mr.
meeting.
Gaylor.
So I just want anybody on the council that's interested in serving to be aware that it is the meetings at 3 o'clock on.
How about I go a different route then, since nobody raised their hands? I know who has daytime opportunities to be able to serve on different things, and I would say, Mr. Teeter, are you open and available to be an alternate on this?
Well, I don't have any experience in this, but I'll give it a shot.
The only way you're going to get experience is if you jump in with both.
You learn as you go.
All right, anybody else? Mr. Douglas, you want to be an alternate?
I'll be a second alternate.
Okay. So I have the interest of a first alternate and a second alternate, and Mr. Teeter and Mr. Douglas. You got that down? Hopefully that will cover Councilwoman Elliott on the Police Pension Board.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to the Commerce City Cultural Council to advance charity and education for preservation of art, music, theater, and dance in Commerce City. Has 2 members. They meet the 4th Tuesday of the month at 5:30 at the Connor Community Center, and that's Councilwoman Elliott and Councilwoman Carson. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, Ms. Carson wants to stay on all the boards that she currently serves on. Councilwoman Elliott, is this something that you have a desire to continue to stay on?
Yes, I would like to stay on the committee or the council.
Okay, is there anyone else on the council that has a desire or an interest to serve on the Commerce City Cultural Council at this time? No? All right, then we'll go ahead and allow Councilwoman Elliott and Councilwoman Carson to continue to serve on that. You got that down? All right. Housing Authority, to improve the quality and quantity of the available housing and to provide safe, quality, attainable housing for all Commerce City residents. Currently, there's 2 members of the council that serve on that. They meet the second Wednesday of the month at 5:30 here at the Civic Center in the conference room 2108. Currently, that is Mr. Bullock with an alternate, Mr. Amador. Now, when it says 2 members, Mr. Gaylor, does that mean an alternate, or does it mean 2 regular members, or an alternate and a regular member?
That's currently structured as 1 council member as a regular member and 1 council member as an alternate for that council.
All right, that's the way it's laid out here. I just wanted to double check. Mr. Bullock, is that a board that you would have a desire to continue to serve on?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Amador, is that a board that you would continue to be the alternate on?
Absolutely.
Is there anyone else on this council that has an interest in serving on the Housing Authority? Okay, makes it easy. We'll keep Mr. Bullock and Mr. Amador on the Housing Authority. Retreat Planning Committee, smaller group of council members that will work with the deputy city manager to plan retreats. 3 to 4 members of the council, as needed, at the Civic Center. Currently, there's Mr. McEldowney and Mr. Bullock, Mr. Douglas, and Councilwoman Elliott. Do the 4 of you all have the desire to continue to serve on the Retreat Planning Committee?
Yes.
Okay, anyone else have an interest in serving on that committee? Okay, we'll keep those 4, McEldowney, Bullock, Douglas, and Elliott. And then we have the City Manager, City Attorney Evaluation Committee, smaller group of council members that will work with the City Manager and the City Attorney on evaluations, 3 to 4 members. as needed at the Civic Center, and we've got no one in there yet. That's one that I would like to participate in as the head official of this council. Is there any other members of this council who would like to serve on that?
I would.
Councilwoman Elliott, anyone else? I'd like to try to get 3 or 4. Mr. McEldowney?
You can count me in. We should also add judge to the description as well.
I agree. And can you make a change in that to add judge to the what the group does? One more, Mr. Douglas. Why don't you put me and Mr. Amador, Mr. McEldowney, and Mr. Douglas? Councilwoman Elliott.
No.
Who was it? It was Councilwoman Elliott, Mr. McEldowney, Mr. Douglas, and myself that said we'd serve on that. Is that all right with everybody before I move on? All right, Boards and Commissions Committee. This is a new board that's being put together. This is to interview and make recommendations for citizen participation in boards and commissions. 3 members meeting quarterly as needed at the Civic Center. Who would like to participate on that?
Ms. Carson put her name in.
Okay, Councilwoman Carson, Mr. Amador, Mr. Bullock. There's 3. Anyone else? No? Okay, I've got 3. You got those down, City Manager? I just don't want you to skip somebody. Another new board, the Legislative Committee, which would make recommendations on state and federal bills consistent with approved policy statements for the council. And this is 3 members would meet weekly as needed at the Civic Center. I've got Mr. Bullock, Mr. Douglas. Can I get one more? How about me? Put me down. Is that all right with everybody? Any concerns with that? That takes
Mr. Mayor, could you review those again?
Myself, Mr. Bullock, and Mr. Douglas would be serving on the Legislative Committee as needed at the Civic Center. Okay, let's move into some more boards and committees. Adams County Economic Development. This group is a collaborative, dynamic, regional catalyst for building partnerships and development. I don't see where we have any member on there currently. They meet the 4th Thursday of the month, January through December.
You're on.
Which one?
ACD, I'm on it.
There's 1 and 2 alternates.
And there's Teeter and Benson.
And Teeter and Benson are alternates. Yeah, but over here where it says members, it's an empty blank spot. I don't know why. It doesn't show that we have any. So currently, it's me, Mr. Teeter, Mr. Benson. Does anybody on the council have an interest in serving on that committee, on that board?
I think this is a daytime.
It is very much a daytime event. Mr. Teeter and Mr. Benson, are you good with staying on there as alternates?
Yes.
Mr. Amador, you all right with it?
Yes.
All right. Well, I think that takes care of ACED. ADCO. ACED. No, Mr. Amador is just okay with me and Rick and Benson being on there. I don't want you to put him down for something he didn't sign up for. Okay, Adams County Water Quality Advisory. This group reviews such things as service area modifications or sanitary sewer lift changes prior to these going to the state. 1 member, 1 alternate, as needed, 3rd Thursday of the month at 3 p.m. It varies. Currently, the member is McEldowney, and the alternate is Bullock. Mr. McEldowney, you want to stay on that?
Yes, please.
Mr. Bullock, you want to continue to stay the alternate?
I'll stay the alternate unless somebody wants to move into it.
Is there anyone on the council that has a desire to move into this board at 3 o'clock on Thursdays? No?
It's typically like once a quarter.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it at what it is. Mr. McEldowney, the member, and Mr. Bullock, the alternate. Adams 14 Foundation. The foundation promotes and assists in the development, financing, and acquisition of educational facilities and improvements that benefit the residents and patrons of the district. There's 1 member. They meet at the Administration Building. The member is Mr. Amador, and the alternate is Mr. Bullock. Mr. Amador, do you have a desire to continue to serve on the Adams 14 Board Foundation?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Bullock, are you okay being the alternate?
Yes.
Is there anyone else on the council that has an interest in this particular board? Seeing none, then we'll go with the two that are on there. CML Policy Committee. Colorado Municipal League, founded in 1923, is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that provides advocacy, information, and training to build stronger cities and towns. We have one member and one alternate. They meet 2 to 3 times per year to be determined at the CML office down on Sherman Street. Currently, the member is Bullock. The alternate is Douglas. Mr. Bullock, you have a desire to continue to serve?
That is one committee I love being on.
Okay. Mr. Douglas, is that a committee you continue to have a desire to be alternate on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone else that has a desire to participate? No? Then we'll move forward. Takes care of CML Policy Committee. Next is Commerce City Business and Professionals Association. Members serve as an effective liaison between businesses, the community, and economic development. We have one member, one alternate. They meet the first Tuesday or Thursday of the month at 7:30 a.m. at the fire station on 69th Avenue. Currently, the member is Councilwoman Elliott, and the alternate is Mr. Teeter. Councilwoman Elliott, you continue to have a desire to serve on Commerce City Business Professionals Association?
Actually, I would. However, Councilmember Teeter has actually been attending on my behalf. Again, with the work conflict, Thursday mornings are really rough for me. So I would like to be considered an alternate in the event that Councilmember Teeter is not able to attend.
Okay. Well, let me ask Mr. Teeter, is that something you would like to be a regular member of, or you want me to open that up to the council?
I want to continue being a member of that.
Okay, then we'll let Mr. Teeter be the member. Councilwoman Elliott, let me ask, is there anyone else on this council that has a desire to serve on the Commerce City Business Professionals Association before I move forward with you as the alternate? Anyone else? Okay, I guess we'll put you down as the alternate. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Okay, next, DIA Noise Coordinating Committee. The City and County of Denver formed the Denver International Airport Study Coordination Group to commission a study on aircraft noise and make recommendations for changes in DIA operations. There's 2 members. They meet as needed. Currently, the members are myself and Mr. Bullock, with McEldowney being the alternate. Mr. Bullock, you want to continue to serve on that with me?
Yeah. Have we ever gone to a meeting for this?
They haven't had one.
Okay.
That's a good one to be on.
Yeah, this is a great committee to be on.
Mr. McEldowney, you want to continue to be the alternate?
I would be proud to serve as an alternate.
Perfect. Anybody else want to be on that committee?
I would like to be an alternate on that as well, if possible.
Good. Sign him up. All right. We've got myself and Mr. Bullock as the members. And I have to say, you know, we're joking around a little bit, but at one time, the noise meetings, we were very, very active. It just has kind of calmed down with the new technology in planes and different things that are going on. There hasn't been a lot of meetings discussing noise. However, myself and Mr. Bullock have served on that committee for a long time over the years. And when there is a need, we need to make sure that we're there and informed about what's going on. But I think it'd be great to have Mr. McEldowney and Mr. Amador as alternates. So anyone else before I move forward? Is everybody okay with that? Perfect. We'll move on. Okay, Dr. Cog Board, Denver Regional Council of Governments, fosters regional cooperation among county and municipal governments in the Denver metropolitan area. We have one member, one alternate. They meet the 3rd Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. Currently, the member is Mr. Benson. The alternate is Mr. McEldowney. Mr. Benson, is that a board you'd like to continue to serve on?
Sure is, and it's 6:30 p.m.
Okay, so that's wrong. It's not 7, it's 6:30. Mr. McEldowney, you want to continue to be an alternate on that board?
I would be happy to. I will extend the offer to the mayor. Most cities have a mayor and an alternate. If there's an interest for the mayor to sit, certainly open to that. Otherwise, I'm happy to continue to serve as the backup for Mr. Benson.
You know, Mr. McEldowney, I served on Dr. Cog for many, many years while I was the mayor, my first term as mayor, and it became more frustrating to me than it was fun. And I think Mr. Benson does a good job, and you back him up well, and you always bring back to us the information. And given the last 2 years, what I've been dealing with the Airport Coordinating Committee, and now that we're into mediation, I need to try to keep as much of that time available to take care of those duties. But I appreciate the offer.
Figured as much, that's fine.
So is there anybody else that would like to serve on Dr. Cog, on this council, have an interest? Then let's go ahead and keep it the way it is with Mr. Benson and Mr. McEldowney. Now we have Dr. Cog Metro Vision's Issues Committee. The committee evaluates issues that relate to the Metro Vision Plan and forwards recommendations to Dr. Cog Board of Directors. One member, November, first Wednesday of the month at 4 p.m., and currently the member is McEldowney and the alternate is Benson. Is that something you'd like to continue to serve on?
I will continue to serve on that.
Okay. Mr. Benson, you continue to be an alternate on that?
Yes.
Is there anyone else on the council that has an interest to serving on Metro Visions?
It actually could only be the member of the alternate.
Okay, so it has to be the two members of Dr. Cog. All right, well, we'll leave it at that then, because nobody else is eligible. Now we'll go to E470 Highway Authority. The E470 Public Highway Authority consists of Adams, Arapahoe, Douglas counties, and the cities of Aurora, Brighton, Commerce City, Thornton, and the town of Parker affiliate. Non-voting members are the cities of Arvada, Broomfield, and Greeley, and Weld County. We have one member, one alternate, meets the second Thursday of the month at 9 a.m. at the E470 offices. Mr. Benson's currently the member. Mr. Douglas is currently the alternate. Mr. Benson, you want to continue to serve on that?
Absolutely. I've been on that board I was going to the meetings even before I was appointed to the board, and so I've been going to the meetings for 6.5 years. I would point out that it's not only the second Thursday, it's the fourth Thursday.
Okay.
It's the second and fourth.
Okay.
A lot of times, the meetings are canceled if there's nothing to do, but it's really the second and fourth.
Okay. Mr. Douglas, is that something you have a desire to continue to serve as the alternate on? Is there anyone else on council that has a desire or interest in the E470 Highway Authority Board of Directors? Seeing not, we'll move on. Noise. National Organization to Ensure a Sound Control Environment. America's Community Voice on aviation noise issues. Noise is a collaboration or coalition of locally elected officials and industry stakeholders working cooperatively with local and federal government to find workable solutions to the issue of excessive airport noise. We have one member, one alternate. They meet once a year, twice a year, usually at the NLC meetings.
Yes.
Currently, it's Mr. Bullock is the member. Councilwoman Elliott is the alternate. Mr. Bullock, you continue to have a desire to serve on that?
Yes.
Councilwoman Elliott, you continue to be an alternate?
Yes, I would like to.
Is there anyone else on the council that has an interest in the noise? National Organization for Sound Controlled Environment? Seeing none, then let's go ahead and leave those two that are on there. Now we'll go to NATA. Northern Area Transportation Alliance would provide a collective voice in the northern area on transportation transit issues to CDOT, state and federal legislators, and Dr. Cog. It's the mayor plus one alternate. So I'm the member. Mr. Benson, you're the alternate. I do, as the mayor, want to stay on there, and that's really who the members should be, is the mayors or the northern mayors. Mr. Benson, you want to continue to serve as the alternate on that?
Yes.
Is there anyone else who has an interest in NATA? We'll go ahead and leave that the way it is. That happens to be the organization that we went through and identified the beneficial needs for the ramp funding and how we were able to put our project forward with Highway 2 to get the ramp funding to widen Highway 2. Northern Community Coalition headed up by Tri-County Health to discuss, or by Tri-County to Health discuss items related to the Rocky Mountain Arsenal and the cleanup project. 2 members and an alternate. They meet here at the Civic Center. Currently, it's Councilman Teeter and Councilwoman Carson, with the alternate being Councilwoman Elliott. So Carson said she wants to stay on the ones she's on. Mr. Teeter, how do you feel about that one?
Yes, I'll continue to serve.
Okay, Councilwoman Elliott, alternate?
Yes.
Okay, is there anyone else on the council that has an interest to serve on this? And I continue to say that for a purpose, that if there's a council member that has a desire to serve on a board, even though there's currently, this is the reorganization meeting, so if I have 4 people who want to serve on the same thing and there can only be one, we will vote it down until there is one. But I want to make sure you all understand you get a fair opportunity to take an interest in any of these boards so that we're not passing anybody up. Okay, with that said, seeing no one else, we will leave it Teeter, Carson, Elliott. Next, we have Rotary Club International Commerce City Chapter. Currently, 2 members. And those members are myself and Mr. Bullock. I currently, and that's every Wednesday at noon.
Yes.
I enjoy that committee and would like to continue to participate. Mr. Bullock?
I would not get off Rotary. That is the greatest.
You like that?
I love that.
Yeah, it's really good community service organization. Is there anyone else on the council that has an interest in Rotary before I move on? Okay. So we'll leave me and Mr. Bullock as the Rotarians. Next, we have RTD. RTD is an elected board council's role would be to monitor activity at board meetings. Currently, RTD issues are monitored through the Metro Mayor's Caucus, RTD Task Force, NADA, and Dr. Cog. Currently, we have 1 member, which is Benson. Mr. Benson, do you continue to have a desire to serve on RTD as an elected board member?
Well, you know, we decided several years ago that we weren't going to have an official member.
I agree,
Because-
but I'm just going off of what I got here.
Somebody who was the former mayor was trying to put a lot of restrictions on me about what I might be able to do.
Yeah, I know. You were cut off. You couldn't do anything.
And so if I want to go to an RTD meeting, I will, but it
Okay.
won't be on behalf of the city.
Well, I can tell you, we do cover a lot of it through NADA. But I think one of the things I want to bring up, because now that we have a master station identification plan, master station area plan, and we're going to be doing a lot more with the North Line, I would suggest that maybe we do have 1 council member serve on the RTD, just as backup information.
Just a designee to it.
Yeah, exactly, just so that, right, just so we have somebody that can bring back the information.
Just to give, you want a report, an actual report given at this meeting?
Well, I think it's important that we have, if there's something going on, that we have someone there that can report back to us of an ongoing that we need to know about. Not that I think we need a report every time, but if there's something of interest to this community that we need to be apprised of, that we would have that information. So you're currently on here on the list. Is it something that you would continue to have an
I'd like to
interest
do
in?
that. That was the way I envisioned it 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
It didn't quite turn out that way.
Well, I think that's the way it should be, and if you have an interest, then we'll have you on there. Is there anyone else on the council that has an interest to serve on that RTD? Okay, then we'll put Mr. Benson on it. Next, we have the School District 27J Facility Fee Foundation. Currently, let's see, the Capital Facility Fee Foundation is a unique public-private partnership founded in January 2001 to promote and assist in the development, financing, and acquisition of educational facilities and improvements that benefit the residents and patrons of the district. Currently, we have 1 member. That member is Mr. McEldowney. Meets the 3rd Friday of the month at 2 p.m. at the Administration Building. Mr. McEldowney, you want to continue to stay on that?
Very much so.
Okay. Anybody else have an interest? Then we will leave you on it.
Yes.
Yes, already? I haven't even got my page turned. Sand Creek Regional Greenway Steering Committee, Colorado nonprofit corporation created by the cities of Aurora, Commerce City, and Denver. The nonprofit Stapleton Development Corporation to manage development of the Sand Creek Regional Greenway. Currently, we have 1 member. Meets on the first Thursday of the month at 10 a.m.
No, that's at 12 o'clock.
Now it's at noon. It used to be at 10 a.m. And the current member is Mr. Bullock, and he does have a desire to continue to serve. Is there anyone else on this council that would like to serve on the Sand Creek Regional Greenway Steering Committee? Then we'll leave that one the way it is. You guys are making this fairly easy for me tonight.
I have been on that committee since 1998 continuously.
1998. I didn't even know it was a committee then. All right, 10-year plan to end homelessness in Adams County. The H2H partnership is comprised of nonprofit organizations, public agencies, church, businesses, and community leaders who work together to end homelessness and to promote self-sufficiency and permanent housing in Adams County. Currently, it's myself and Mr. Douglas. Is there anyone has a desire to serve on that? Mr. Douglas, you want to stay on that? Okay. I've never heard of a meeting. Have you? I'm on it, but nobody ever told me there was a meeting.
We don't have no homeless people in this city.
Really?
That's why.
All right, well, anybody else want to be on that?
I have a question, Mayor. I'm a board member on Access Housing, so would this be a conflict of interest if I were to maybe put my name in the hat as an alternate, or is that even a possibility? I mean, the two go hand in hand, and I just kind of feel like since
You know what?
I do meet there on a regular basis.
That would be great.
It's not a conflict of interest. I used to serve on the Access
Okay.
Housing Board also. It's
Okay.
I think
no
that would be
conflict.
all right. Do you want to, why don't we allow Mr. Douglas to move up as the regular member and you to be the alternate?
Okay, that'd be fine.
You got that?
So the regular member now would be Mr. Douglas, Miss Elliott, an alternate.
Yep.
Just those two.
Yep.
Okay, great, thank you.
Meets every week at noon on Tuesday. All right, Water Commission. Water Commission, members discuss issues and concerns that impact or affect both the water district and the city in advance of those being taken to the respective boards and council, looking at more big picture and broader scale issues. This is a pretty intense and becoming more and more intricate. I am currently a member. I would currently like to stay that member. Miss Elliott is the other member, and it's really two members, the mayor plus another member. So it's two from the water board and two from the city. Is that something you want to stay on, Councilwoman Elliott? Yes. Okay.
So we're gonna
Anybody
move-
else?
Are we going to move Miss Elliott to regular?
Yeah, I think because it's always been a regular, there's not been an alternate. But I think because of the time, it meets every Tuesday or the first Tuesday bi-monthly at 1:30, that sometimes Councilwoman Elliott can't come. Well, yeah, but they changed it back because, you know, it's been tough either way. So I think it'd be great to have an alternate on there. So it should be two members and an alternate. Mr. McElhenney?
I'd love to sit on this as an alternate or a regular. The time, if it's at 4, would be ideal. 1:30 would put me in a definite alternate position.
Okay, well.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes,
If
sir.
I could just clarify, it's the first Tuesday of every quarter at 4 PM. That's the current
Okay.
schedule.
All right, well, we need to update these things.
Yep.
So with it being at 4, Mr. McElhenney has an interest to be in as an alternate. Is there anyone other interest on the council before I move on? All right.
Before you move on,
Yes, ma'am.
first Tuesday quarterly, and what was the time?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, and then, because I'm going to record all this in the minutes.
Myself and Councilwoman Elliott are the members,
Right. Back
and then
up,
alternate would be McElhenney.
can I back up one to 10-year plan to end homelessness?
10-year plan to end homelessness. You got
Ford and Douglas remaining members, and Elliott's moving to?
No.
No?
No, Douglas will be the member,
Okay.
and Elliott will be the second member.
Okay, and you're coming off?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Before we go to these, we have the Stapleton Cab and Youth Commission that are actual boards.
All right, Stapleton Cab, that's not on my list.
It's not on none of these lists.
I know it's not on any of these lists.
The Stapleton Cab is generally by a staff member, and that's probably why it's not on your
Okay,
list.
gotcha.
Because it historically has been attended to by a staff
Yeah,
member.
but they actually asked for me to be a member, but Mr. Amador would like to be the alternate on that because there is no staff member that goes to that meeting except if I request a staff member for like the ZAP committee or something like that.
Okay, so you want to have a member and an alternate on
The Stapleton CAB. And they
the
meet
CAB,
the third Thursday at 7:30 in the morning.
okay? And what I'm hearing is you want to be the member, and I'm hearing that Mr. Amador wants to be an alternate. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is there any other interest before we assign board duties to that on this council? Seeing none?
7:30 a.m.
7:30 a.m. You got that, Laura? I want to call you city clerk, but I'd rather call you Laura. All right, as long as we're keeping track. What's the other one, Mr. Bullock?
The Youth Commission.
The Youth Commission currently is Councilwoman Carson and Councilman Bullock. I know Carson wants to stay on it. Mr. Bullock, you want to stay on it? Is there interest by this council of any other one, any other member that wants to serve on the Youth Commission?
Okay, you want me to tell them when they meet?
When do they meet?
They meet the first and third Thursday
Your
at...
microphone's not on. Makes it hard for the public.
They meet the first and third Thursday at 5:30.
Okay. No other interest? Yes, sir.
I was just going to mention that we have the two others for you to discuss, area boards and the Memorial Day Parade Committee, but after you're done with.
Yeah, we'll get to those. Was there any other regular board meetings besides the Youth Commission and the CAB that I missed?
I'm trying to, no, none that I can think of right now.
Okay. All right, so we made it through the big list. Let's go to these other meetings, and these are usually the entire council. So we have the ADCOG dinner, which is local elected government officials meeting to discuss current issues, and that's the Adams County Council of Governments is what it stands for. Fourth Wednesday of the month, quarterly at 6 p.m., and that's the entire council. I think that needs to stay the way it is. Any objections? Then Adams County Cultural Council, is that one we took off? Is that why it's not bold? Adams County Cultural Council was established by resolution of the Board of County Commissioners responsible for preparing and submitting plan to Scientific Cultural Facilities District, SCFD, for
The
disbursement of
county
funds.
invites. The county invites. You do not
Oh, that's
appoint.
invited by the county.
That's correct.
City does not appoint. Then we have area boards, School District 14, South Adams County Water and Sanitation, South Adams County Fire District, Commerce City Business Professionals Association, the city, meet to discuss current and future agency issues and plans. That also includes Tri-County and folks from the refuge. That's something that I have been going to, constantly as it occurs. It's in the middle of the day, 11:30 a.m., and the entire council can show up if they'd like. But I have been there representing us at every one of those meetings. And we have the...
I've got a question.
Yes, question?
Are we getting an invite to area boards? Because I used to go to those all the time, but for the past couple of years, I never know when they're happening.
And they show up on my calendar, but can we make sure that the council gets those on their calendar so they know when the area boards is going to be?
Absolutely.
I could be getting them, maybe I just missed them, but if it
Okay.
would be an actual, one of those formal invites.
Okay.
I think you're correct. We've not been sending that to the entire council. It's been to the mayor, and I think
Maybe the mayor pro tem.
I think it's just the mayor and the mayor pro tem is who we've been sending to, but we can send it to all 9 of you.
Well,
I would sure like to get that.
I think it's important that with all the agencies there, that the council is invited to show up, and if they can make it, even if they can only make it to one a year, it's pretty important to listen to the other entities that are there.
You just need to tell them in advance.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, no, that is not a city-appointed committee.
Yes.
That's appointed, they appoint. It's an invite, just like the county invites on the ADCO Cultural Council. We have Memorial Day Parade Advisory Committee. This is a new committee. Council members will be the liaison between the city council and the staff in coordination of the annual Memorial Day Parade. Council members' role may include the appointment of citizens to the advisory committee, the selection of the Grand Marshal, Master of Ceremony, special judges, and the theme, the solicitation of participation from other dignitaries, government agencies, boards, and commissions, etc., and providing input for planning and implementation of the parade. 1 to 2 members. Currently, we have the member being Douglas, member 2 being Elliott. Both of you want to continue to stay on the parade advisory committee?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else have an interest in the parade advisory committee? Seeing none, then I think that we have made it through our boards and commissions appointments, and this is just a short list of all the additional duties that a council member has to perform. And so it's not, as some would think, it's not just Monday nights. It's pretty much all days of the week. And they do take a lot of time away from their families to go to these different meetings. But they do it so that they're more involved in what's going on, and they understand the issues that are facing this community, and they participate. So I think that's something that everybody needs to know, that it's not just being on city council, it's being on these 3 pages of other boards and commissions. Any questions or concerns of any of this that we've went over? Based on the layout, can I get a motion to approve the selection of the boards and commissions that we have given consensus on this evening so that we can move on? Mr. Benson?
I will so move.
Mr. McEldowney?
Second.
A motion is second to appoint all the different boards and commissions that we went through this evening by consensus at one time. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. The boards and commission seats are delegated at this time. And if there be, well, hold on a second, Mr. Bullock. You want me to, you going to wait? Good, because we're done. If there be no further business to come before this city council on December 2nd, we are adjourned.